Hi, U11 team. I wanted to send a video message for a couple of reasons. One, I'm going to fix my hair, kind of. I wanted to send a video message instead of just a long written out statement on Team Snap for both the family and kids. I think there's probably going to be two parts of this. The first part is for like parents and the kids, and the second part is mostly for the parents. But the first part is, the game today was not the outcome wasn't what I expected, but how the game went, I think, was not a surprise. The kids definitely they gave their effort the whole time, but we had this tendency this year to come out flat-footed, and it was just like I don't know, it could have been on me the way to focus at the beginning of the game, and we try to address like coming out pretty hard, which we did a few times over the course of the year, but we were pretty consistent in coming out a little slow and not really covering our positions as well as we could have. And we tend to come alive in the second half, which we did that today. And we just came out on the short end. They had a pretty good offensive attack on us, you know, utilizing their speed over the top. That first goal, that was a painful one. But the kids they were a lot of fun this year. There's so much personnel. We talked about that a lot. The coaches and it was just it the emotional charge of the team overall, and then a few individual players. By the way, when I say that, my kid included, he had some pretty high highs and some very low lows, especially a couple weeks ago. So it's interesting to watch a kids go through some of the challenges and how they react to it. One of the things I had to realize again, I do this multiple times in a season. It's like they're 11 years old, and we do put a lot of pressure on them, and that's well and good because you need some positive stress or stress to help motivate anyone to to take on a challenge. You just try to balance that line between positive and negative stress, and it's hard. And some of the kids, it's they let it out on the field with how they engage into like a tackle or play or argue with the coaches or refs, and it's hard. It's hard. So, but that's the challenge of the age, and the next couple of years while the kids go through middle school, it's not going to be um, any easier. It's going to get a little bit harder for them. Um, but it's going to be interesting watching them go forward. I really am looking forward to it. I wish Coach Mike and Coach Riley a lot of luck and good fortune next year. It'll be fun watching on the other side, and I'll be taking more pictures of the kids and sharing that. So I really appreciate everything that the parents did, the kids, the effort that they gave when they were there, and I would love to go through one on one and talk to each kid. I was only able to talk to a few kids at the end of the game, but I really appreciate a lot of the feedback I got from both the kids and the families, and thank you for the gift. So I wanted to share that. Uh, as far as the second part, so one of the things I struggled with this year is I had, um, you know, I feel like when we have a competitive team, one of the things that I struggle with, one, I don't know, I felt like I needed to get more guidance of what expectations are. But there's part of me that feels like OSNK is having a bit of an identity crisis, and I did talk about this with Coach Mike and a little bit with Greg Cisco. We have a competitive program, we have a recreational program, but I think that the position that OSNK is in, where they took on a full towns recreation league, and it's being a volunteer program and one of the largest ones in the state. it's a hard situation to be in. You have a bunch of parents who are like, hey, I want my kids to play competitive soccer, but it and they have certain expectations. But then you have multiple families that have their kids at different organizations, and this is not just a soccer thing. It's hockey. There's baseball. And then you're balancing whether or not they're going to play for the school team, the club team, and different families have different goals. But one of the things when it comes to a competitive program, especially a nonprofit program, it's you know you have to navigate because it's expensive, and you have to navigate. Okay, my kid's going to be on this team, and they're only going to be on this team, and I really want them to have the best experience. But if you have other kids that are going on other teams and their other club is their priority, and OSNK is like just the ancillary backup, and you know they don't have as much time together, and to set up practices and time together to get some of the higher level skills and transition and multi-phase plays of the game and get that feel, it's it's hard. And I think our team would have benefited greatly if they had more practice time together as a full team. You know, it I know the other organizations, they usually do two or sometimes three practices a week, where pretty much the whole year we had, one, and almost none of them did we have our full team. And that's frustrating because you're trying to put a good experience and product out on the field for all the kids. And, that's a significant challenge. And I think it's only fair at some point that the families have a meeting. And this is a lesson for me if I were to coach in an organization like this again, because I've been an assistant coach in an organization. I didn't have to deal with the head coach part. And then when I was a part of it, it was rec level. And then when I went up to competitive, I was the assistant coach on the second tier team. And you kind of knew where you stood when you're on the second tier team. But when you step up to the first tier, the pressure is different. And it's not like working in a school department. Middle school and high school is where most of my experience is. And it's like, you have tryouts and you only play for one high school or one middle school, and that's it. If you make the varsity team, well, there's no other competition. You're on that team. You don't have to fight for time for the kid playing on two or three other organizations. So I really think it would be beneficial for families at the beginning of the year to kind of establish who who is the priority, so you can kind of arrange the goals and practices around those expectations. And it would help probably temper some of the frustrations that many of you have expressed to me over the year. And I think it's only fair because I know OSNK isn't as expensive as the Rams or certainly not Surf, but I think it's fair that when parents are putting up even $1,000 or whatever it is, and it's only fair for those families to be on the same page. That way they can make a choice whether to either stay with an organization or find another option. But it's just, I think it's a better way to go. With that said, I wish all you guys a great summer, and I hope you take some time to rest. This is if the kids were bored enough to watch the rest of this. I hope you guys have a great summer and enjoy some of the free time, and you know grow in any of the soccer camps you might be going to, or whatever sports you're going to be playing over the summer, or just being at the beach, because I know that's where Lincoln, Alistair, and I will be a lot, is on the water or at the beach. So, all right, I appreciate everything. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.